introduce myself. My name is Sharon Curry. I am one part of Perfect Time Fitness and Meal Prep. I want to wish everybody in the room a happy Mother's Day. By the way, y'all look good. I like the hats. But I also want to give a happy Mother's Day to my mother-in-law. This woman, I'm trying to do this without crying. Without that woman, I wouldn't have the strong-willed, disciplined, hard-working husband that I have. This better burn. Yeah. I'm literally watching him walk in purpose. Like literally, changing lives along the way. And I pray that God continues to be a light unto your feet. Okay? So without further ado, I would like to introduce to you your neighborhood high school football coach, your neighborhood high school basketball coach, most importantly, El Presidente, co-CEO of Perfect Time Fitness and Meal Prep. Also, my husband, Coach E. Give it up for Coach E.
Good morning to all. Giving honor to the LAR event officials, members, and friends. I greet you with God's love and peace. To my younger son, Evan, always remember the words I shared with you and your brother, that you have the power to live your dreams. I wish I could be there in person today to share this wonderful opportunity with you. But always remember, I am with you always in prayer and in spirit. May God give you the words to share and the wisdom on how to share them with everyone today. Love, hugs, and smooches to all. And to all mothers, I wish a very happy Mother's Day. Blessings always.
Y'all give it up for my mother real quick. Y'all give it up for my mother. She's down in Richmond, Virginia, so she did that video for me, just so I can incorporate her in this lovely event. First of all, thank you to Alasia, thank you to T. Where you at? Okay, yeah, thank you, ma'am, for the invite, for the privilege to do this and join y'all in this wonderful occasion. Happy Mother's Day to every mother that's in here. Give yourself a round of applause. That wasn't good enough? Okay, I'm gonna need more energy from y'all. So I'm trying to break this up into 3 different sections, right? In a mother's life, they have to live 3 different ways, especially raising kids, especially sons. We usually have events like this and you hear so many women's point of views, but I'm gonna give you a man's point of view, starting from the little boy. So we'll start with love. A mother's love is unconditional, right? Right?
Yes.
So raising her 2 sons that she did, me and my older brother, we put her through a lot of stuff. We was daring kids, a lot of things we did we shouldn't have done. But you know how teenage boys can be. We can be rivals, we can be best friends, but we can be enemies at certain times. But my mother's love was so good and so rich and so thick. She enabled us to feel that love with a little bit of discipline as well and get us through a lot of tough times in our life that we enabled ourselves to be in. So at the age of 8, my parents got a divorce. And that hit me real hard because I was kind of like in a transition where I was growing up and I was getting close to my dad, but he left. I know divorces happen, but he left. So I was literally watching cartoons in the basement while he was moving out. He unplugged the TV, took the TV away. So at that moment, it kind of like put anger in my heart towards my dad. I know he probably didn't mean it, but in that situation, as a man, you got to think what he's feeling at that time, what he's going through. But as an 8-year-old kid, you have no mental space to even think like that. So from that moment on, me and my mother got so close because I felt she was the only one I had in that situation. Because I felt like my dad did so wrong. Like, how could he leave us? How could he do that to us? He knows we got two young men to raise, but he just left. So fast forward, we want to talk about the sacrifice. My mother sacrificed a lot of her life. The older me and my brother got, we got more involved with sports and everything like that. She took the time out of her life to take us to every practice, every game, everything that we did, everything that we needed. She saw fit to stop her life and go ahead and pour it into our life. There's another person in this room right here I grew up with, Mel. She was one of my mother's cheerleaders, so she could attest to what my mother did as a cheerleading coach, how she poured into their life, how she continued to pour into our life, and it just kept getting better and better, and I started getting closer to, my mother. So fast forward to about 10th, 11th grade, I was doing real good with sports and everything in the newspaper and turning heads and everything, and next thing you know, guess who just started showing up at the basketball games? My dad just started showing up, claiming he has his son now, wanting to fit in and tell everybody, like, hey, look, guys, that's my son, blah, blah, blah. So I still had that little anger towards him or whatever. And my mother would always tell me, no matter what happens, that's still your dad, so you must respect him and treat him accordingly as your dad. It took me a while to get to that point. It took a lot of other events and situations that happened in my life to get past that anger. So fast forward to strength. My mother's strength is impeccable. The things that she had to go through in her life, I sat back and watched her, and that's where I get a lot of my strength from, a lot of my discipline. A lot of the things that I go through, I was able to look back at how she handled things and prepare myself accordingly. So that's strength. My mother, it was 1991. My mother's younger brother, my uncle, committed suicide, and he also killed the mother of his kids. My mother was the first one on the scene to see her brother's dead body laying there. She still kept her composure, did everything she needed to do, as well as come back and tell us what happened in a special way that we wasn't wondering, like, oh man, how's Uncle doing or whatever. He ended up passing away. That's one thing. The second thing, my nephew right here, Sharon. I have full custody of my nephew. I have an older sister. She passed away when she was 40 years old from stomach cancer. So that was another situation where I had to tap into my mother's strength. I needed her words of encouragement. And if y'all couldn't tell by that video, my mother is a real good speaker. She kind of like imports her spirit into whoever she's talking to and gives that person life and gives them the strength that they need to carry on in certain situations. So from my nephew experiencing that, from us experiencing that, my mother also helped us get through that. And then now, fast forward to 2023, her mom, my grandmother, I will never forget this day. It was January 3rd. I was at the grocery store shopping for a cookout that we were going to have at our house on the 4th of July. I get a phone call as my mother. She was crying on the phone. My mother, like, very rarely cries. It has to be something really, really, really serious in order for my mother to cry like that. And when she told me what she was crying for, I had to immediately compose myself to be strong for her because she really, really needed me. She wouldn't have called me if she didn't need me that fast. My grandmother, her mother, never woke up that morning. So mind you, my mother's in Richmond, Virginia, so I had to go over there to see my grandmother land in her bed like that, just passed away, have the strength to call my mother and talk to her and let her know what's going on, talk to the ambulance, talk to the police department, things like that. That very next year, the year before, her father, my grandfather, also passed. I had to take care of my grandfather for 4 straight weeks. He was bedridden with cancer as well. So that's a man that nurtured me. He took on the father role when my father was not in my life to a certain extent. And I had to sit there. That was my hero. That was the strongest person beside my mother that I've ever seen in my life. So to see him laying there and to know I had to take care of him the way that he took care of me, I took a lot of pride in doing that, but it still hurt to a certain extent, all the way to the core. But that just built me up to be even stronger and stronger for other certain situations that I would have to go through and need in my life. Now fast forward to this woman right here who just announced it, my wife Sharon. If I didn't have all those experiences with my mother and seeing what kind of woman that my mother was and is, I wouldn't have the eyes to search for a wife like the one that I had. She has taken the place of my mother. I have my beautiful youngest daughter right here, Ariana, and her fiance, Tom. They're getting married in July. July 12th, they will be getting married. So without my mother, seeing how she raised me, seeing how she handled things, seeing how she was as a woman, I would not have the wife that I have because I would not know what to look for. I would not know what to do without this young lady. I'm standing up here because of her, because she makes so many different sacrifices in her life to allow me to do everything that she just listed that I do. I have a very full schedule every single day. She's still at home taking care of things. She still takes care of my nephew when I'm not there. She cooks every day. She's the other half of Perfect Time Fitness and Meal Prep. Clearly, she's the meal prep side. So she does everything to the best of her ability every single day. So I'm putting all that together to say, without my mother and her ways, I wouldn't have my life and my wife in her ways. So I give a shout out to my wife, the best mother in the world. I give a shout out to all of you mothers here. All of you are still great mothers and the best mothers in the world. But I challenge every single person in this room, if you have a relationship or if you don't have a relationship that you think you should have with your kids, son, daughter, or whatever it is, I challenge y'all to fix it. My mother told me when I was about 20 years old, I thought I was going to the NFL. I thought I was doing a whole lot of things in football. My mother actually told me that I was going to be a leader and a speaker. I got so mad at her for telling me that because she didn't even mention football. But now look, she saw all of this happening and she spoke that into my life. I was looking for confirmation, but she gave me correction. And there's a lot of y'all out here that don't want to hear the correction. A lot of people talk to everybody else, look for advice, and you want that person to give you confirmation. But when that person gives you correction, that hurts you a little bit. But you need to go through that hurt. So that person doesn't tell you what you want to hear, that's the person that you need to seek out for your advice. Because they're telling you what is going to happen, whether you like it or not. God is speaking through them, so you need to listen to them. So I really challenge all of you to try and look for correction and not confirmation. Fix the relationships in your life. Straighten out whoever you need to straighten it out with. If you got your phone, look at your phone. What does your phone say? What time does your phone say right now?
2:17.
Right. Does anybody's phone say what time you're going to die? I'm pretty sure it doesn't, because we all don't know. So you can be walking out of this door right here and die and never fix those relationships in those situations. So that person will feel so horrible. I'm pretty sure you don't want anybody to feel like that. So as soon as you leave here, fix every single situation, every single relationship in your life. Fix your life and live to the best of your ability, because that's why God put you here, to live your best life to and through Him. So without Him, nothing is possible. And I want y'all to remember every single word of that. So I hope y'all accept this challenge, and I hope y'all do this challenge. And I appreciate every single one of y'all for this opportunity. Y'all have a great day, all right?
Thank you for tuning in to Game for All Seasons with Coach E. Remember to hit the like or subscribe button on Coach E's YouTube channel. To listen on the go, download wherever you get your podcasts. Also, make sure to follow Coach E on Instagram, X, and TikTok at BigF216. Contact us at www.perfecttimefitness.com for one-on-one or group training sessions. Our theme music provided by Mr. Taboo Timmons on SoundCloud at Mr. Taboo Timmons. Once again, thanks for listening and see you next week.